Morning TikTokers, this is Tommy's 10 minutes on the World Cup as promised. Who am I supporting? If you caught my earlier clip. By the way, no, it's no Saudi Arabia. We joke. As I said in my wee clip, I'm supporting Iran. And I also told you that I was going to furnish you with some details as to why. For anybody who's seen any of my other clips, and I explained in the shorter one, I said it was done with football. I've been true to my word. However, last night I actually did watch the second half of the Canada and Bosnia game, and it was actually a decent game, whatever. So anyway, I was asked who I was going to support in the World Cup. I thought about it and I said, Iran. What about Scotland? And I'm going to do a shorter clip on Scotland, a wee rant, get some things off my chest. But in this World Cup, I'm supporting Iran. As I said in the shorter clip, number one, I don't like cheating. They're being made to come in and out of the country on the same day. They're not giving them a fair chance. It's fighting with one hand behind your back. So there's that. And there's also the fact that in the recent times, it's Iran who have been standing up trying to protect the Christians. Now, there's going to be a couple of things that you might hear here, if you've not switched off already, and if you have, whatever. You're going to learn a couple of things here, or hear a couple of things that you might not have heard before. Iran are standing up against the terrorist regimes. And I use the word considered. If you look up the definition of terrorism, okay? And off the top of my head, it would be the premeditated use or threat of violence on governments or civilians to impose your own ideological thoughts based on ethnicity, geography, whatever, right? I think we could all agree that's terrorism, is it not? Who's the terrorists? So Iran has stood up and said, nope, we're not having it. Come ahead. You know, if you think that you're going to bomb us out of existence, we'll fight back and we're happy to die doing so. Now, you need to understand that, and listen, I'm not going into a history lesson here, but that Iran's whole history for over the last 1,000 years, never mind the last 6,000, the Medes and whatever, they're an important people in the world's history. But for over the last 1,000, close to 1,500 years, their Shia faith is based on martyrdom, standing up against the oppressor and being willing to die in doing so. And that's where, you see, they have said, and by the way, let me just nail for you how they're protecting Christians. Don't know if anybody's seen the pictures. There's a place called Taybeh, Taybeh, in Israel, that is the oldest Christian village in the world. And it's got a lot of historical significance in the Bible. It's been razed to the ground. Christians been murdered, burned, displaced. Specifically because of Christ's connection to it. But I thought, what about the Judeo-Christian? Shut up, nutbag. Anyway, so there's South Lebanon, Tyre, which is mostly Christian. or certainly a significant amount of the population are Christian, that's been bombarded, bombed, people emptied out. And Iran have said in the recent sort of, and I use the term loosely, peace negotiations, Iran have been turning up faithfully, and I'll come to that in a wee second. But we're now approaching the 40th time that Trump, who has brain rot, the same as he's got gut rot, and that's another post I'm going to do. Trump, who has brain rot, for the 40th time said that we're near a peace deal. And then in the goldfish bowl of his mind, he forgets a couple of hours later and says, bomb them, attack, kill, they need to pay a price. And anyway, Iran said, look, in the latest sort of peace sort of deal, Lebanon and Gaza are included. We don't care if they're a different race, different religion, different ethnic origin. We don't care if the inhabitants are not the same as us. We're against the genocidal ethnic cleansing of anybody, and we will fight tyrants until we die. So come ahead. So there's always that. So the Iranians are the ones who are protecting the Christians. Oh, what about that Ayatollah? He's an absolute nut job. Say the nut jobs. Let me tell you something about the Ayatollah. The current Ayatollah, who they actually tried to assassinate just after he took office, after they had assassinated his dad, who happened to be with his wife and his children. The current one hasn't came out all guns blazing and saying, I want vengeance. No, he's actually still trying to find a path to peace. I mean, who's a Christian here? So, fair play to the Ayatollah, by the way. I know if it was me, and I'm a Christian, well, I don't know. Anyway, so he's been participating in the peace negotiations, and he has sent his emissaries out, and, J.D. Vance and Kushner and the other assembled demons sitting on their phones, not taking things seriously, coming out of the meetings, coming out of the discussions, and then attacking, and then letting Israel off the leash to attack Lebanon and Gaza and all the stuff. The Iranians are going, no deal. If you do that, then we're going to attack you. So there's the Ayatollah, there's the defence of the Christians, there's their stance on basically standing up for what's right. And what I will also say is, did you know that in Iran, there's synagogues that Iran actually helped to build and are protected? What? I thought they wanted to kill all the Jews. They're anti-Semitic. No, you're listening to the man on the television again. You're listening to fake news. And so I'm saying that it's pretty much time, I think, to get the Iran tops out. Let's stand with the team who are being cheated, persecuted, who are standing up for the right thing. And I don't know. I mean, if Iran are playing, America, it's not going to happen. I mean, they're making sure that Iran don't qualify, but I know who I'm going to be supporting. And listen, I've got a history with Iran. I remember 1978. It was one of the most depressing results that I can remember. And I'm a Rangers fan, so there's a few to choose from. But I remember the 1-1 game in 1978 and thinking, how can we not even beat Iran? Anyway, TikTokers, that's my wee 10-minute rant on why I'm supporting Iran. And I'm going to do a wee shorter one on Scotland to get a few things off my chest. But have a nice day. Wakey wakey.